I graduated top of my class in computer science, landed a job in San Francisco, like comp package well into six figures. Like my LinkedIn was crazy. But every month that went by, I just felt like I was slipping deeper into this fog. Like my discipline deteriorating, dreading Mondays, fantasizing about just kind of disappearing, traveling to Europe, Asia, starting over. And now I live in a van, spend 6 months in Bali, like take trips to Europe, work from my laptop. If you're making good money right now, but your life just feels dull and you feel that fog, this video is for you. My software engineering job was exciting at first. I'll be honest, like it was exciting, it was fun, it was new. I was looking forward to working all throughout college. All I wanted to do was stop doing these boring courses and actually do something interesting. But that excitement only lasted so long. Even through I was promoted in 6 months, much earlier than normal. And even through that promotion, the extra salary, the bonus, like that excitement plateaued. And my growth started to plateau as well. I started to feel this lack of fulfillment. I used to tutor in computer science in college. And there was this sensation that I will always remember of being one-on-one with a student, looking at their question that they're asking me for help with, and trying to figure out the right words for me to say to guide them to the answer. And there were these light bulb moments, so many of these, that were so fulfilling to see, to witness. If you're a teacher, like you understand this feeling. And that level of meaning and fulfillment, I just felt like I was lacking in my job. It just became like, oh, let's just build this cool tech, just like because. But what's interesting is that what hurt the most in this phase of my life wasn't the lack of fulfillment. It was watching my own discipline deteriorate. It was watching myself waste my own potential as the high achiever, growth oriented person. Just spend nights scrolling on Instagram for hours, watching YouTube videos, going from setting up systems, learning outside of work, growing, reading, developing, to falling into just scrolling on my couch. Watching that slow burn was hard. And what makes this situation even more difficult is my job wasn't all bad. I'd have amazing days, great conversations, great pair programming with coworkers. And then I'd go the next day, I'd be staying up until midnight, scrolling for hours on my phone, just wishing for a different life, wishing to wake up feeling excited for the day and work on something meaningful and fulfilling. And there was this voice in my head, whispering, there has to be a bigger, better life out there for me than what I'm doing right now. But it's every quarter, it's oh, well, I couldn't be upset with another stock vest and another bonus this year. Watch my net worth go up in my financial tracker. You're literally financially incentivized to stay and not listen to that voice that's whispering to you in your head. And so after enough journaling and financial projections and spreadsheets, I decided that enough was enough. I had enough feeling this pain of wasted potential, feeling stuck with no clear direction, feeling this loss of self-trust, trust in myself to commit and go for it, looking for this perfect path out of this situation. I was enough is enough. I'm quitting my job. And I bought a van and I started traveling around the US. And then I started traveling abroad, backpacking abroad. And I was I have no idea what I'm going to do. All I know is there's a bigger, better life out there, and I'm going to figure it out on the way. And I get why these decisions, big life decisions, are so difficult, especially when you're in the bubble, when your friends are also software engineers in big tech, in corporate, VPs. You are being surrounded by other people who value promotions, at least on the external side. You think they value promotions. You're spending time on LinkedIn, liking other people's posts of, oh, I just got promoted. Part of this is the environment that you're in and the identity that you have become attached to. And part of the tension in leaving, quitting, traveling is releasing your attachment to this identity, killing this old self that everyone knows and understands, your family, your friends, like you're known as that guy, that girl living in SF in Silicon Valley, working the big tech job, who drives the Tesla, who has the nice apartment. Like you are attached to that as an identity. And it's so hard to detach yourself from that. I took a long break from Instagram posting, and you'd be surprised how difficult it was for me to get back onto Instagram. Like the number one excuse holding me back from posting on Instagram was, but like I have so many old friends like from high school, from college, who knew me as that version of Peter. And it's gonna be so weird if I like start posting these like, traveling and this new life, and that caused so much friction and tension. And what got me through that was understanding that the people that care, the people that want to follow will follow. The people that you are probably worried about thinking down on you are not going to follow you. They don't care. They're not thinking about you as much as you think. Everyone else is just worried about, winning their own rat race, getting a new Tesla, upgrading their apartment, like posting on Instagram. You posting on Instagram right now is honestly, if you're in this fog, it's probably not helping you. It's just continuing to attach yourself to this identity that you like, this life that you don't even want anymore. For a long time, I felt this hesitation saying, oh yeah, I live in a van. And I was like expecting these like, oh, that's weird. You'd be surprised how many other people our age are like in big tech and dreaming of just like van life and like living a van and traveling and working remotely. Like when you get out of this bubble, you'd be surprised at how your identity and how your perspective on life and these old friendships that are holding you back, like you'd be surprised how much that changes. And so this life that you are living, your career path, doesn't have to make sense to your LinkedIn friends. It doesn't even have to make sense to your friends, to your parents, who you think it needs to be coherent. It just needs to make sense to you. I've worked with people in similar positions. This one woman, ex-VP in a company, looking at going back to her, $200K a year job versus pursuing this new aliveness business that she was thinking about pursuing, yet feeling like stuck in this fog. Years of financial runway and savings, yet still playing it safe. And so if you're in this position as well, it's like, is money really the issue here? Or is it a different problem around fear, around the trust in yourself to take this leap, around your attachment to your identity on social media and your friends? A lot of us are expecting that there's some other voice that's not the one that we are hearing right now. There's some other voice that's going to tell us that we need to listen to. There's no other voice. That voice in your head pulling you in this direction, it's not going to go away. And so now this is a question of, how do we overcome this fear, this trust? Like, how do we actually get to a point where we've made a decision, where we book a call with our manager and tell them that we're leaving, like ripping this Band-Aid off and getting started? I want to shift to some things that you can do if you're feeling like you're in this situation, things that helped me. The first is like, stop optimizing only for money. When will it be enough? When will you stop moving these goalposts? When will you stop tweaking your projections in your spreadsheets? The next 10K, 50K, when will it be enough? And when will you start valuing the price that you're paying on this growth that has plateaued, the discipline deteriorating, the wasted potential every night just scrolling on your phone? Like, what if you started valuing aliveness and excitement, purpose, fulfillment into the values of your life and decisions and career path, and like tweaking your financial projections spreadsheet? Like, you're not going to find aliveness or excitement in an Excel equation. It's not going to solve for that. Like, what would it look like for you to start valuing those things more? Like, imagine waking up excited every day. Imagine not dreading Mondays. Imagine not having these meetings that you don't need to be at. Imagine never having to do this stupid small talk on your Zoom with coworkers anymore. Imagine feeling alive, purposeful, fulfilled, excited every day. And so if you've been looking for a sign to book a trip to Europe, Asia, to just get out of your apartment environment, like this is your sign. I want to end with some questions for you to think on. If you couldn't post on social media, Instagram, stories, LinkedIn posts, would you still be at this job? And now, if you didn't have to justify your next move, explain it to your LinkedIn audience, to your friends, to your parents, if you didn't have to justify your next move, what would you do? Most of us already know what that thing is. And is your worst case scenario trying and failing, having an amazing story that you can talk about in interviews with recruiters? Is it trying and failing, or is it continuing to coast over the next 5-10 years and look back on this chapter that you're living now with regret, wonder, questioning what life could have looked like if you listened to that voice in your head? If you want to go deeper with me, this is what I help my clients with, these big life career decisions, getting out of these loops of feeling stuck in self-betrayal, scrolling for hours, instead of feeling clear about what's my direction and what are the next steps that I can take. If you want to go deeper with me, send me a DM on Instagram and let's just chat. Let's open the conversation. But even if you don't, I hope this message is the sign that you need to trust yourself, to trust in the voice that you're hearing, and to stop thinking about this identity that you've created, you've built up for years, that you've become attached to because of your friends and parents and these expectations that people are holding over you. I hope this message is the sign for you to break that loop and to go after and pursue what that voice is telling you to do. That's all I got. See you in the next one. I graduated. Raise the state. Walk in, bro. Walk in. I graduated. Smile like you're having fun. Help me. Okay. I graduated. Why can't I say this? Whisper. It's a library. I'm graduating. What if I stopped trying to not make mistakes? If I only had one take, this is what that take would look like. I graduated top of my class in computer science, landed a job in San Francisco.